Tonight, Cayuga County is inviting residents to voice their concerns in a new initiative, Public Safety Coffee Hour.
Plus, Governor Kathy Hochul lays out New York's 2023 fiscal year budget.
And the return of flu season is increasing COVID-19 cases in Oswego County. We'll tell you what to expect.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Scott Brubaker.
And I'm Casey Morris.
Breaking news at the American Dream Mall in Meadowlands, New Jersey. Just before 6 p.m., a man was spotted bleeding while walking into the main entrance of the mall. The
victim was taken to Hackensack University Medical Center, where they are currently trying to save him. The mall was locked down and secured clear. This case is still ongoing. With the start of the spring season also comes the start of flu season. In a campus-wide email on Thursday, the Director of Student Health Services at SUNY Oswego, Angie Brown, said in an email, the college is already seeing an increase in flu cases. Brown and the Mary Walker Health Center are recommending several actions to members of the campus community to prevent spreading. These actions include masking indoors and washing hands frequently. Brown also says members of the campus community who develop a fever should not attend classes or events. Contact health services if you are experiencing flu-like symptoms. If you have questions about COVID-19 boosters, you're not the only one. Britt Conway explains why in today's Health Minute.
This virus, unfortunately, is going to be woven into the fabric of our everyday lives.
We might be done with coronavirus, but it's not done with us.
I would not be surprised if we see an uptick in cases. I hope and I believe there's reason that this will not happen, is that we won't get a very large increase proportionately in hospitalizations because of the background immunity.
Immunity from people who've gotten COVID-19 and from vaccines and boosters. But even if a future with coronavirus is inevitable, exactly what that'll look like isn't clear between the threat of new variants and questions about boosters. Right now, another booster is being recommended for the immunocompromised over 12 years old and people over the age of 50.
The good news is it allows people who most need a booster shot, a second booster, to get one. The bad news is it's confusing for people. Do I need a booster? When should I get it?
Answers people hoped would come from the FDA, but the Vaccine Advisory Committee came away with no solid answers after meeting on Wednesday, partly because there are still questions about future vaccines. Both Pfizer and Moderna are working on variant-specific vaccines, and some researchers are hoping for a more universal vaccine. Until there's specific guidance,
we need people to have a trusted guide, like a primary care doctor, to tell them exactly what they need.
For Health Minute, I'm Britt Conway.
As of April 4th, an estimated 98 million Americans have received a booster shot for COVID-19.
The Oswego City School District is adding security cameras to their stadium. This announcement was made on Tuesday when Superintendent Mathis Kelvin III said there are areas of the new turf field that the current cameras can't see. Kelvin says that the upgrades are expensive, but the school wants to keep the people of the community safe.
Governor Kathy Hochul unveiled a new $32.8 billion DOT capital plan earlier this afternoon that will leverage federal funding commitments to support final phases of major infrastructure projects, including the replacement of I-81 in Syracuse. This new 5-year plan also increases the existing Bridge NY program by $1 billion and adds a new $1 billion Operation Pave Our Potholes program.
The $1 pizzas of New York City may soon be a thing of the past. According to Food and Wine, the relationship between pizza and Subway prices has always been constant. However, this may no longer be the case. The average cost of an NYC pizza has jumped to $3.14. That's almost 50 cents more than a Subway ride.
An art exhibit all about Peeps, those springtime marshmallow confections, has returned to Racine, Wisconsin. James Groh takes a peep.
You must not think of them as conventional candy per se. You need to think of them as a method to an end.
In this gallery, Peeps are the art and they're the medium. It's the 13th annual International Peeps exhibition. Some of the art here is made out of food, but you don't want to eat it. These Peeps have been painted and glued. However, that doesn't stop hungry visitors from trying them.
Every now and then we'll come in and we'll find a Peep is missing, and we know somebody's either taken it or chomped on it.
There are 162 entries to the gallery and competition this year. Art must be made out of Peeps or about Peeps, so it can be like this diorama or a painting of Peeps. Winners get the golden Peep. While it is a competition, it's not really about winning or prizes. It's about making art in a different way.
I like it because of the happiness that it brings to people.
This Peep art is just fun and colorful. My favorite was the Peeps roasting what looks like other Peeps over the fire. The gallery helps usher in the beginning of spring. There are Peeps camping, Peep animatronics, and even Peeps on a video chat call. Plus, this year, there's an entire section about the invasion of Ukraine.
So there are many pieces about freedom and rights and then recreation. So people are speaking to all aspects of their life here.
The Peeps exhibit runs through April 23rd.
The Great Northern Mall in Clay, New York may have a lengthy court process ahead of them. Onondaga County filed a lawsuit giving the mall two options: pay back more than $5 million in taxes or sell the mall for redevelopment. The Great Northern Mall has been under a lot of scrutiny this past year with safety concerns over their parking lots and water damage that shut down the mall for a month.
The cause of a plane crash at the Fort Drum Army base remains under investigation by base officials. The unmanned plane assigned to the 10th Combat Aviation Brigade, 10th Mountain Division crashed on the Wheeler-Sac Army Airfield on Wednesday morning. Officials say the aircraft was totaled, but there were no injuries, fatalities, or damages to facilities during the incident.
In Cayuga County, the acting district attorney Brittany Grome-Antonacci, Sheriff Brian Schink, and Auburn Police Chief James Slayton will host two community coffee hour events. The coffee hours will give the officials opportunities to meet members of the public and discuss public safety related topics. The first event is on April 19th from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. in Auburn. And coming up, the 2022 hurricane season will be setting new records.
And the first Black woman is elected into the Supreme Court.
Now let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Joseph Champagne.
Thank you. Well, more rain is in the forecast. I'll have more details after the break.
Athletics. Aaron, there were 6 big points. This is the one you've been waiting for. This group has never beaten Cortland.
Getting started with some men's soccer as the Lakers had 2 conference matchups.
For half of the Lakers' goals this entire season.
Offense is key. You talked all about scoring goals.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
For the governor race with a strong lead, former Governor Andrew Cuomo is...
Barlow announced the completion of a large building mural in downtown Oswego.
The renovations on the Hewitt Union building, turning it into the new Hewitt Hall.
And as we move into tomorrow, that rain is going to be in our area.
Moving to the Diamond now, as Sweet Caroline got a lot sweeter last night.
Life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire, but you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
We've been marinating chicken in all sorts of liquids for 24 hours. These are vitamins and minerals and things that you need, nutrients. The chicken speedy is a staple of our culture.
Welcome back from the break, everyone. I'm meteorologist Joseph Champagne. Here's your weather headlines for the weekend. We do have more light rain in the forecast tonight. There is a chance for some mixed showers this weekend. I'll have more details on that. And there is a very warm, very large warm-up on the way next week. I'll have more details at the end of your forecast tonight. For now, look at the satellite and radar across the Northeast. We do have clouds socked in across the area here, and that really is going to be the story over the next few days. There is going to be no breaks in the clouds tomorrow or through the weekend, and there's more precip coming in as well. A look at your satellite across New York State. Again, we do have that light rain in the area. Heavier rain falling east of I-81 and parts of Syracuse and areas like Utica and Oneonta. And then again, going into tonight, light rain is in the forecast, low around 43 degrees, a southwest wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Through the day tomorrow, we will start off the day dry. However, rain showers are forecasted afternoon, and we do have a high of around 52 degrees, so not too bad tomorrow, with a southwest wind at 6 to 11 miles per hour. And your hourly forecast for tomorrow, again, waking up, we are dry until about the 1 o'clock p.m. hour, where more rain showers will be moving back into the picture. High temperatures right around 52 degrees, and then after 3 o'clock, temperatures will be on the decrease through the overnight hours as well. Wrapping up with your 7-day forecast here, again, some more rain showers in the picture tomorrow. On Saturday, a chance for a few rain showers in the afternoon, and then on Sunday, again, those snow showers back in the picture, but that will be in the morning hours. By the afternoon, the rain showers will take over as temperatures rise a little bit more. And then wrapping up here with the rest of your week, Monday looks very beautiful. It's like we flip a switch there. Tuesday and Wednesday, look at that, almost 70 degrees on Wednesday, and then that ends with some rain on Thursday. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Joey. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson will be the first black woman to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court. The Senate voted 53 to 47 to confirm Jackson as the Supreme Court's 116th justice, and all 50 Senate Democrats, including the 2 independents who caucus with them, voted in favor of Jackson's confirmation. 3 Republican senators joined the Democrats in voting for Jackson's confirmation. Jackson will be sworn into the Supreme Court this summer.
I think it makes a very important statement about who we aspire to be, who we are, who we believe ourselves to be. It's a statement about that on our highest court in the land, we want to make sure that there's going to be full representation and the finest and brightest and the best. And that's what happened today. I'm very proud.
The 53 to 47 final vote tally showed bipartisan support for Jackson, with 3 Republicans joining Democrats to promote the 51-year-old federal judge to a lifetime appointment.
The UN is taking action to further isolate Russia from the global stage. Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials are asking world leaders for additional fighting power. Gloria Pazimo is tracking the latest on the conflict.
The United Nations General Assembly has voted to suspend Russia from the Human Rights Council as its invasion of Ukraine appears to be shifting, amid more evidence of atrocities, while NATO leaders hold a critical meeting to decide how to move forward.
The sickening images and accounts coming out of Bucha and other parts of Ukraine have only strengthened our collective resolve and unity.
Meanwhile, in the war zone, Ukrainians are burying their dead, bracing for attack, and digging through the rubble. It's all part of daily life in Ukraine's eastern region. While the Russian military continues its offensive against Ukraine and forces push east, on Thursday in Brussels, Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba issued a plea for help following a meeting of NATO foreign affairs ministers.
Either you help us now, and I'm speaking about days, not weeks, or your help will come too late.
Ukrainian officials say more fighting is underway in the east. While Western nations debate any additional sanctions and pledge more aid to Ukraine, the attacks appear to have no end in sight.
This war may last for weeks, but also months, and possibly also for years. And therefore, we need to prepare for the long haul.
I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
Russia is now calling its suspension from the UN Human Rights Council, quote, illegitimate and politically motivated, end quote, but also claims it was Russia that decided to suspend its own membership on the council. Public transit workers in Honduras are planning a nationwide strike on April 7th. The workers will strike in protest of persistent security problems and rising fuel prices. Labor organizers say the strike could still be avoided if representatives of the Honduran government agree to a meeting with workers and propose solutions to their concerns. If the strike happens as planned, significant transportation disruptions will be likely throughout the country.
Scientists are warning that this hurricane season may be above average yet again. Scientists are predicting there will be at least 19 named storms and 9 hurricanes this season. This is up from the typical 14 named storms and 7 hurricanes. Experts say that Americans on the coastline should be on high alert. They also say the best way to prepare for hurricane season include having an evacuation plan, preparing a go kit, and taking the threat seriously. JetBlue Airlines offers a hefty purchase to a competing company.
And jobless claims hits a low that hasn't been seen in over 3 decades.
I love you.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Remember the best planned 90 minutes of your life? Or that surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple?
Chop the pineapple.
Nope, I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope, I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. Jobless claims in the United States have reached 166,000 last week, well below the Dow Jones estimate of 200,000 and 5,000 under the previous week's total, which was revised sharply lower. This would be the lowest level since November 1968. The numbers, nevertheless, reflect a jobs market that is subject to a severe worker shortage. There are about 5 million more employment openings than there are workers.
The Russian invasion of Ukraine has left the world not only short of important grains, but also fertilizers. According to Morgan Stanley, Russia and Ukraine produced 28% of fertilizers made from nitrogen and phosphorus, while Russia and Belarus produce 40% of the world's exports of potash. Disruption of these shipments due to the war and sanctions have sent fertilizer prices skyrocketing.
Gas and interest rates are on the rise. Amy Kiley explains what's happening and how it will affect your bank account.
You are ripping the American people off, and it must end. Gas prices need to go down.
Some big things are happening that affect how much you pay for things. The first is oil executives won't commit to ending buybacks.
Will you commit to doing whatever it takes, including increasing production, but also reducing dividends and buybacks in order to lower prices for struggling American consumers?
Nearly all basically answered like this.
We'll see production increases over time, and the answer is no on dividends and share purchases.
Here's how buybacks work. Oil companies buy some of their own shares. That reduces supply for normal investors, increases demand, and raises share prices. Then shareholders get payouts called dividends. Oil executives usually own stock in their own companies so they can personally profit from buybacks. Democrats would rather they invest in production to lower gas prices.
You and your big oil corporations are making record profits.
Some Republicans blame high fuel costs on energy regulations instead.
There is a way to be able to bring prices down. They're just not willing to do it at this point.
The second thing happening that affects your wallet involves interest rates. The Federal Reserve will release monthly data on consumer credit rates today. That's for things like new cars and personal loans. And Freddie Mac is releasing weekly mortgage rates. Those numbers are baselines. The Fed is signaling it will hike rates again soon. I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
In related news, the International Energy Agency says it's releasing 60 million barrels of oil from emergency reserves. It says the objective is to ease the cost of sanctions against Russia.
JetBlue Airways is vying to buy Spirit Airways for roughly $3.6 billion. Challenging rival company Frontier Airways announced a deal back in February to purchase Spirit for $2.9 billion, a deal which would transform the two airlines to the fifth largest American airline. Spirit has stated that its board would evaluate the proposal from JetBlue and determine the best course of action.
And coming up in sports, we have Jacob Bradley.
Jacob, can you give us a quick preview?
Of course I can. In sports, both baseball and women's lacrosse were in action, and we had a battle in New York in the NBA. All this and more coming up on WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Athletics. Aaron, there were 6 big points. This is the one you've been waiting for. This group has never beaten Cortland.
Getting started with some men's soccer as the Lakers had 2 conference matchups
For half of the Lakers' goals this entire season.
Offense is key. You talked all about scoring goals.
Welcome to Understood.org, a free online resource for parents of kids with learning and attention issues, with personalized recommendations, tools, and daily access to experts to help your child thrive. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Jacob Bradley with tonight's Sports Report. We kick things off with baseball as the number 16 ranked Oswego State Lakers traveled to the Rock City area to take on the St. John Fisher Cardinals. The Lakers would start off with a hill to climb following a 5-run second inning from the Cardinals, but the boys would fight their way back into it. The Lakers held a 1-run lead into the bottom of the 8th when a home run would knot things together with a walk-off double to follow it, giving the Cardinals the victory 7-6. The Lakers now look ahead to a big weekend in the North Country as a 3-game set against the Plattsburgh State Cardinals waits for them to get there. Also in action last night were the women's lacrosse team as they played host to the Geneseo Knights. It wasn't the best night for Britt Howard's team as they found themselves down 3 goals in the first few minutes of play. The woes would continue as the game progressed, leading to a final score of 17-6. This loss drops the Lakers to 2-8 on the season, but the SUNYAC Conference play is still in its infancy, so the Lakers have plenty of time to make up ground in the standings. And that all starts this Saturday as New Paltz takes a trip to the Laker turf. Full coverage can be found for both women's and men's games Saturday right here on WTOP 10, starting with the women's game at 12 o'clock. With opening day starting today, Yankee fans will have to wait one more day to watch their favorite pinstripe players in action. The Yankees were supposed to start off the season taking on the arch rival Boston Red Sox, but the inclement weather had something to say about that. The scheduled game will now take place tomorrow at 1:05 from the historic Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Garrett Cole will toe the rubber for the Yankees, whereas Nathan Eovaldi will get the nod for the Red Sox. And if you're a fan of minor league baseball, you didn't have to wait, as the AAA affiliate of the New York Mets, the Syracuse Mets, took on the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. It was a pitching matchup for the first 6 innings until the Mets could crack a few runs onto the board by way of a single and a home run. But ultimately, the Yankees farm team would wipe out the Mets. 5-3 was the final score from MBT Bank Stadium in favor of those Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. The game scheduled for today was postponed to tomorrow, where it'll be one of 2 games taking place in a doubleheader. And now we move from the diamond to the hardwood as we take a look now at a big-time matchup from the Big Apple. It's the Brooklyn Nets traveling to Madison Square Garden to take on the New York Knicks. We pick things up here in the end of the first quarter. Nice spin move by R.J. Barrett. He finishes at the rim, extends that lead to 4, able to beat the buzzer as well. Then we fast forward here as well. R.J. Barrett, he dishes it down low to Jericho Sims for the dunk. He finished the night. A little bit of a double-double, 10 and 13 at 65-48. Then we fast forward now. Kyrie Irving comes up with the turnover. He hits Bruce Brown, who finds Nicholas Claxton, and it's smooth like butter with an absolute dunk. Two-handed give me at the rim for Claxton. Then we fast forward now. Another steal on the turnover. This time it's Kyrie Irving. Passes it to Kevin Durant, and he slams it home, sending the crowd into anarchy, bringing the Nets right back into this game. Then we fast forward. R.J. Barrett, wide open 3, can't get it, but it's Obi Toppin. Oh, my Lord. With the one-handed slam on the rebound. He had himself a night as well with 19 points. Then we fast forward. The pass for Kevin Durant goes a little bit errantly, but Patty Mills recovers nicely, knocks down the 3, extending that lead to 10, and that would be enough for the Nets to walk away with the victory. Final score from New York. From the Big Apple, 110 Brooklyn, 98 for the Knicks, my bad.
Jacob Bradley, thank you very much.
Of course.
Before we get going tonight, can we get one more check of the weather?
Of course, Scott. Well, we do have another rainy and cold weekend, unfortunately, but next week looks beautiful, so if you can get outside, definitely do that. Thank you.
Can't wait. Hoping for some nice spring weather for the rest of this semester. That is our report for tonight. Please be sure to stay tuned for OX5.
Thank you for watching and have a great night, everyone.
Marinating chicken in all sorts of liquids for 24 hours. These are vitamins and minerals and things that you need, nutrients. The chicken speedy is a staple of our culture.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
For the governor race with a strong lead, former Governor Andrew Cuomo is...
Barlow announced the completion of a large building mural in downtown Oswego.
The renovations on the Hewitt Union building, turning it into the new Hewitt Hall.
And as we move into tomorrow, that rain is going to be in our area.
Moving to the Diamond now, as Sweet Caroline got a lot sweeter last night. The